remember who you are. Yeah, they're gonna mess with you, baby, you're a star. Stepping in the spotlight, you know that it feels like time to put up a fight, honey. Got nothing left to lose, so let's start right now. Everybody want a piece of you. Gotta give them what they want, it's true. You're symphonic, yeah, so iconic. If you didn't know before, now you know. Now you know. Take a big step away from who you were. Flashing that smile and the whole world's a blur.
All I got for Christmas was this ugly sweater. This ugly sweater. It makes me look just like Nat King Cole. He's unforgettable. All my friends got better things than this ugly sweater. Ugly, 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 ugly. Thank you very much.
Yes, it's the
And
ugly
I'm gonna
sweater
take it back, you better.
edition of Positively Powerful. Scott Fitzgerald alongside my dear friend Stacey Steinmiller, who is can you hear? Are you able to hear? All
It's
right,
just
good.
a little loud.
So yeah, turn that stuff down. Turn that stuff down.
I'm like, ooh, this is loud. Okay.
Run a little bit behind, but I got my ugly sweater. She didn't get the memo. Well, I didn't have a memo. This was a last minute addition to the show.
Yeah, I didn't get a message.
Yeah. I have this left over from the Chill at Santa days, and
It looks Canadian.
and is it?
It looks like it
There's
representing.
moose.
There's moose
on there.
and it's red, so it feels Canadian. to
Well,
me.
it's Christmas time. It's Christmas is red and right.
Well, yeah. I don't know. Something that it looks. I don't know. It looks whatever. Anyway, not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with Canada. Did you hear? I just did a story this morning on my show that the Canadians are making kids wear helmets in the snow or something like that. I didn't read the whole story, but yeah. Safety first. Safety first.
I was just thinking of when I put the transcript into like AI and ask it for show notes, it's gonna like give us these random facts. Like, did
Yeah.
you know that the Canadians are requiring kids to wear helmets?
5 amazing facts about Canada.
It's just completely made up.
So welcome back. We're doing this kind of thing where I'm not running the show over in the control center. Will, Voice of God, is doing that. And so I'm in here. So I can't even see the comments or anything. We're going to work that out. We're going to figure that out.
I didn't think of that.
Maybe if Will sees comments coming in, he'll put them up there. I haven't showed him how to do that, so maybe he'll figure that out.
Or he can just read them. And
Or
then
he
we
could
can hear his
he could read them.
voice.
You know what?
Yes.
We'll have to do that so that when he reads them, he has a whole lot of reverb on his voice, so it really does sound like it's coming from the heavens.
Yeah.
But being it's the 17th and we are a stone's throw away from one of the biggest holidays that Christians celebrate.
Yes.
It's also a time of the year where a lot of people get down and they're not very happy
Yes.
for whatever reason, family trouble, or, it's just traditionally a time where a lot of people are depressed and things like that. So I thought we could maybe try to talk about ways that we can maybe try to shift our energies if we are
Sure.
feeling that way,
Totally.
and kind of maybe focus on positive things, or what you would suggest for folks that are going through that turmoil right now.
Definitely. Yeah, that was my wheelhouse for many years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually usually I would always work between Christmas and New Year's. I know a lot of people take time off, but my schedule would always be lighter, but I'd always be available because of it being often sensitive time for a lot of people. But so I guess a couple things off the bat is one, a lot of it is people are putting too high of expectations on themselves.
Yeah.
Around trying to make things perfect and do enough and so forth. And so I guess I'd really encourage people to look at the pressure they're putting on themselves during the holiday season and what would happen if you gave yourself permission to take that pressure away,
Yeah. That's a really good point. I think because a lot of people add just unnecessary amounts of pressure.
So much.
And it's kind of funny because my wife Kelly and I were talking about this on Thanksgiving, because I remember for years, whenever there was something that we were hosting at our house, and Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever like that, she was always just a bundle of nerves the whole day. You couldn't talk to her. You couldn't do anything. It was just like, because she's trying to make the house right. We're trying to figure out, what do you want me to do with this?
Yeah.
And this year, she was just like, wow, this is really great.
Yeah.
She was so calm. She's like, because she let go.
Yes.
Of that, of those expectations.
Yeah.
And we've kind of just like come to this realization or this acceptance that this is where we live. This is the way it is. Mm-hmm. This is how we are.
Right.
You don't like it, get the fuck out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because why go through 8 hours beforehand of just total intense stress to try to make your house seem cleaner than it really ever is,
right.
364 days out of the year.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, out of respect for your guests, you're going to clean up the various piles of crap that are around everywhere so that you can have a place to put your food down or whatever.
Right.
But that relief that she felt from not having all of that pressure to make everything so perfect was huge.
Yeah.
And we're like, wow, this was great. We were like singing and dancing and cleaning up, and it was like, this is fun. Yeah. It's amazing what happens when you take those expectations out and you just sort of be like, hey, you know what? Take me as I am.
Right.
Take this house as it is. It's lived in. We live here. Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's a huge example around, getting the house together. The food, the presents, there's so many different ways you can come together and have a good time. And we'll get into the family issues next if you want, because that's the other point that usually comes up. But instead of if like presents are really stressful, and this is more for like adult giving versus with children, one idea I really like is instead of getting gifts, is to put your money together and donate to a charity, like what you would spend, on maybe extended family members or things like that. Maybe do that, and then you don't have the pressure of like, oh, what am I going to buy this person, or what I'm going to do?
And do it in their name, kind of thing.
Like if everybody in the family donated, like brought to pool the money together, and you like pick a charity and you just like give a check or something, stuff like that. I find a lot of stress in gift giving. So that's one, solution that feels good. Then it feels like, we're doing something, we're bettering someone's life, and we're not just buying each other something for just for the sake of buying.
I feel like that would have to be something that was all like unanimously.
Well, that's just like
upon.
Right, exactly. That would have to be an agreed upon
thing. There's the one guy who's like, "What do you mean you gave my present to some charity? You suck."
Like the George Costanza human fund or whatever. Yeah, no, that would be like a decided upon, or just having those expectations. I remember my brother and I, for so long, we were like giving each other $50 or $100 gift cards, basically back and forth. You know what I mean?
It was like you give me $50, I give you $50.
Right. I'm like, why are we doing this? So we kind of were like, all right, let's, and he's more of a gift giver than I am, but I think I was kind of like, can we not? Can we not do this? Can we agree to not do this? Because, it would just kind of cause me stress. And I know he loves me, and I don't need the gift for that.
Right.
Yeah, so it's just kind of coming up with ways to, how do you make the holiday, we talk about the joy. We use the word joy a lot this time of year. Well, what would actually make it joyful for you would be a question I would ask.
Yeah, it's interesting because like joy to the world and all this, that traditionally the joy, actually technically comes from the birth of Jesus if you wanted to get really into the nitty-gritty meaning of Christmas. But I think joy is one of those words that's thrown around a lot during the holidays. And I would wager that very few people actually experience real joy, like real joy.
Yes,
not just a happiness or a happy glow from a present or a fun day out, whatever. It's like that the definition of what real joy is, and there's only been a few times in my life where I've actually experienced like total joy, and it's exquisite.
Yes.
It really is. And it's to have, when some people say that they live in a state of joy all the time, I'm like, please tell me more about that. I want to know what you're talking about. Like, explain it to me.
Yeah, no, those are good points. And and we talk so much, especially like when we talk about business and visioning and manifesting, right? We talk about that, what do you want your holiday to look like? And not in this like perfectionistic, perfect picture way, but what do you want to experience? What's the intention behind what you're doing, getting together at family? And is it to say, hey, look at my immaculate house for a day? Or is it to, be in conversation and in company with people? I know for me, my extended family, we get together about twice a year, and Christmas Eve is one of them. And so I'm in a lot of the people I won't see until next Christmas Eve, right? Yeah. So it's like the one time, to actually have conversation with some people, And
you usually say, we should do this more often. And then like next thing you know, it's next Christmas. And you're like, hey, we never did that. And I guess that, when you're talking about family, the holidays is bittersweet for a lot of people. Some people really enjoy getting the family together, and some people aren't so big on that.
So that's the next point. Yeah. So there's a lot here. And this is what I would spend most of my time talking about with people when I was a therapist. But so it's knowing your boundaries is really important here. So I, for background, people don't know, I think most people know, I had a therapy practice, and I specialized in trauma. So most of, a good amount of my clients they were adults, but had childhood trauma. So we're talking like, significant levels of abuse. So obviously family was not usually a happy subject, considering that most abusers are family members. So so it's really a lot of boundaries, and looking at what where you're feeling obligated, what feels right and aligned for you, and that can change from year to year, and from person to person. So it's a lot of putting yourself first and what boundaries are required for you.
And I think that there's an interesting, trend, or that people are becoming more aware of this idea of like, no, I don't have to put myself into these situations where I'm not comfortable.
Yeah.
You remember like when we were kids, when I was a kid, it was like, hug your Aunt Jean, and you're like, give him a kiss. And you're like, I don't want to give him a kiss. Right. And now it's kind of like, well, if the kid doesn't want to give you a kiss, he's not going to give you a kiss.
Right, exactly.
Do a fist bump, whatever.
Yeah.
Don't force the kid into an intimate situation that the child does not want to experience.
Yes.
Whether they're shy or whether you don't know, and I think that now, that realization that people have, and then there are some people that be like, oh, shut up, blah, blah, blah. But I think it's a progressive notion that you shouldn't force kids into that situation. And it's the same with adults. Why if you have a severe problem with another family member, if you're not going to sit down and work it out like adults,
Yeah.
then don't force the person to be there with them
Yep.
and deal with that. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
a lot of nuance there too.
There was a lot,
Yeah, but-
exactly, depending on the situation and so forth. But yeah, but basically it's kind of knowing that boundary, protecting that boundary. Another big piece of advice that I always give is if you're traveling for the holidays, I highly, highly recommend not staying with family if there are a lot of issues, as in get a hotel room,
Yeah.
get an Airbnb.
Tent out in the backyard. Depending on where you're staying.
Right. So yeah, and again, like if everything's gravy and so forth, I'm not saying like nobody should stay. Like literally, my aunt and uncle are going to be staying at my my parents' house, but I'm saying for like a more higher, with you know your situation that you're in. So if you tend to if that feels better for you to not be around the family 24/7, give yourself permission to get that hotel room. A lot of people will maybe be like, well, it's a free place to stay, but is it like, what's the cost of like your mental and emotional health? And that's probably greater than what the hotel cost is going to be to do that. So, and then what happens is if you, get a hotel room or Airbnb or something, then you're creating a boundary. Right. And then it's like, okay, I'll be over at 4:00. Right. And I'll be staying until 8:00, and it's okay. Let's meet up for lunch. We'll be over for dinner. We'll be over at this time. And then it just kind of helps give maybe you and your spouse and your immediate family a level of protection with that.
Some families are kind of weird when it comes to boundaries. They don't understand them. And it's not like, coming from a mean place or anything like that. It's like a traditional generational thing where they don't understand that, family, you can have boundaries in family. And a lot of people are like, no, mi casa, su casa, you come in, what's mine is yours.
Yeah.
Some people are uncomfortable with that. I feel like they're imposing and they don't want to be there. It's hard. It makes them feel uncomfortable, or if there's some sort of tension in the family or something like that. But my whole family is elsewhere. My wife's family is up here. So I would love a chance to visit with the Fitzgerald side of the family. And maybe that's going to be in the cards one day. That would be very cool.
Yeah.
But I do remember even in some of those interactions having there be like some, friction here and there. Like my grandmother doesn't like this or whatever, or she's upset about that. And you try to work through it and stuff like that. And it's like, it almost becomes so second nature that it's like, oh, well, it wouldn't be the holidays if so-and-so didn't say this and didn't do that. And
yeah, and that's also just accepting people for who they are and how they are, So outside of, more intense trauma, situations, then there's just it's just like, okay, this is this person and these are their beliefs and this is how they are, and don't let it affect you, if they make a comment about whatever, like, why are you getting so attached to it? Like, why are you letting that frustrate you? So, right. Like,
let it go.
Yeah. And maybe going in with that level of acceptance and and if not, then there's things that you're attaching to about what they're saying. If somebody's comments bother you, it's because there's a part of you that believes what they're saying. Otherwise, it rolls off. You're kind of like, what? Right? You're going to have this like weird, confused
There are some
reaction.
people who just cannot deal with someone saying something about them.
Yeah.
Whether they I mean, do you really think that somewhere the person believes that there's the truth? Is that like the root of it?
Yeah. Yep.
Do you switching
no,
gears?
go ahead. Yeah. That's a big statement. I know.
Yeah. It's tough.
It is.
Do you have do you have any like favorite holiday memories from growing up?
Oh yeah. So Christmas is my favorite holiday. And so yeah, we get together at my parents' house and host a big Christmas Eve party, and I'm doing that since I remember. And back when I was real little, it was like a nighttime party, which I kind of miss because we get together during the day now. And it's just a little not as magical. But, my cousins got older. They had kids. It's like multi-generational thing. And I'm the youngest of my generation. So I was probably spoiled the most. But So usually I grew up, I was raised Catholic. So we'd go to, we had mass at like 6:30 or something, and then so the party wouldn't really start till like 8:00 at night. And we made this punch. It was not spiked because I drank it with like the sherbet ice cream on there, and like the big ice block. And I loved making the punch and getting doing whatever I could do in my little ways to help. And every year for the longest time, Santa would come to the house early. And that was kind of like how...
Did someone actually dress up as Santa? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's going all out.
Yeah. It was big. I know. Like I said, I was really spoiled as a kid because I think it was basically for me. I don't know how old my cousins were at the time, if they, or even my brother's 4 years older than me. But I think there was a period of time where he was still young enough. But so I remember, I think the first year they did it, I think my neighbor Dave, I don't know, maybe dressed up.
I was going to say, who is the...
There was different people each time,
yeah.
I believe. And then... And actually, years and years later, my brother did it for a couple years for my cousin's kids, which was really fun. Like one time Santa actually came into the house, and one year Santa would maybe just walk out in the snow with like jingle bells. And I remember one time like the neighborhood dog was like following, Santa. I found out it was like the dog's owner that was Santa, and of course that's why the dog was following. But I just like, whoa, that's so cool. The dog
Santa has a dog.
I thought like, well, I knew who the dog was, right? So I was like, I was like jealous, like, they get to be by Santa. So so the Christmas Eve party, Santa showing up, all of it. That's my... I
grew up in South Florida, so the Christmases usually were warm, which is weird,
I couldn't imagine that.
We would, what would we do? We would go to my aunt and uncle's house in Palm Beach, like later in the afternoon. And then we would go there and have the big dinner and everything like that, which was always awesome. I miss doing that. But one of my favorite memories of Christmas does not reflect on me well. It does not. Man. Yeah. So I'm guessing this is 81 something or 80, 81, something like that, because the toys I got, because I remember the toys. It was all Star Wars. It was Empire Strikes Back stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And so I woke up in, probably 3:00 in the morning.
Yes.
Opened up all my presents, brought them all into my room, and went back to bed. My mom got up and she was furious. She was like, what did you do?
She missed like the joy of watching you open all your presents.
I opened everything up and I brought it into my, put it together, brought it into my room and fell asleep. And she was like, I don't, remember a whole lot. I remember that happening. I don't remember if there were, if I had more presents, if I didn't get them all, or if I only got, in my memory, I opened them all up and there was nothing left. Yeah. I don't know if that's actually true.
Right.
But that's what I did. And I just remember, and I'm now as a parent thinking back, I'm like, oh,
Right. Like,
my poor mom.
Right. Yeah. After all that hard work, right?
Because Kelly, like, she calls Christmas is like her Super Bowl, right?
Yeah,
She
yeah.
absolutely loves giving out presents. She loves getting stuff for the kids, loves watching them open it up and stuff like that. I just imagine she would be so crestfallen if she woke up and we had all opened everything and we're all like, "Hey, you missed Christmas." We're like, "What? What?"
That's funny.
Imagine that.
It's so funny too because I feel like sometimes when I come here and I see you, like I see a lot of my. You remind me of my brother a lot, yeah. And so he 1 year, and this, he was fairly young, so he always would get a new game system, right, or something. Nintendo is like you get Nintendo or Sega, or right, like it was like these were the things he would get. So I think one time he got up at like 3:30 in the morning and went down, and so also our Santa gifts were never wrapped. So it was like the Santa gifts.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think that was coming from, that came from my dad's side of the family. I think they didn't have the money, to wrap presents, right? But it was kind of nice because then we could just go down and like play with our presents, and my parents could sleep in a little bit, and
sleep until 5.
Not knowing that they were up till 2:00 in the morning, like doing all this, and then they would get up and have their coffee, and then we would do the presents under the tree, from family and everything. So so I guess he had gotten up, and I think it was like shortly after my parents had like just gone to bed, and he was like down there and like playing his game. So after that, they had to implement a rule that we weren't allowed out of our rooms until 6 a.m. and we weren't allowed to wake them up until 7 a.m. So he would come and get me up at 6. I was never, which is interesting because I'm like a morning person now, but I was never a morning person. And so he would come wake me up, and then we'd go down and do everything, and then we'd wake them up and attempt to make them coffee. And it was really funny. We didn't know how to make coffee. Like we were trying to
like
do
thank you. Sludge that you made. How many scoops did you put in this?
So anyway, so I share that story because it's like, it was just like another thing of how you remind me of my brother, like similar thing.
I remember now, speaking about Christmas from a parent's point of view, I remember my kids were probably 10, maybe 8, somewhere in that neighborhood. And we'd make them go to bed at like 8:30, 9 o'clock. That was like kind of bedtime. So we made them go to bed. And they all woke up at midnight. We weren't even in bed yet. They were up at midnight, ready to go.
Yeah, you put them to get bed too. You got to wait till like 11, 12 o'clock so they actually sleep.
God. We were like, what, are you kidding me? You can't be up now. Santa didn't come yet. And they're like, and then we couldn't get them to go back to sleep.
Oh, no.
And it was like we couldn't do anything. It was a nightmare.
Oh,
and I used to get the jingle bells. I used to go out on the deck, and I used to like jingle the jingle bells outside when they were in their rooms, because they would be like, I'm like, you hear him? He's in the neighborhood, jingling the jingle bells. You got to get to bed. If you're awake, he's not. And then when they did that, I was like, oh, you're awake. He's going to pass us by. You guys aren't going to get anything for Christmas.
The fear we instill in our children.
Probably the cruelest thing ever.
I mean, I don't know anybody that hasn't done that. So.
I there were a couple of times where they were being so bad coming up to Christmas. I was like, I wonder what would really happen if they woke up at Christmas and there were absolutely zero presents.
Oh my, I could never do that.
I'd be like, I just couldn't do it. There's you have to be a really mean somebody to pull that off. Like those what are those videos that people are doing, like the Halloween, like Daddy ate all your Halloween candy or something, or I opened up all your presents. No, it's so terrible.
Oh, I know. I couldn't. Yeah, imagine. Do you have a traumatic like finding out about Santa story, or a fun finding out about Santa story, or do you remember?
I don't.
Oh, really? Yeah, I could tell your brain was like not going anywhere. I was like, oh, there must not be. I could like see you stalling out.
I remember one time being young and saying I was going to wait up for Santa, and I took my bean bag out, laid down on my bean bag, and woke up the next morning. And somehow they managed to go right past me with everything. Kids, like sometimes the kids asleep, it's like you can't wake them up for nothing.
Well, so your kid. Like, I know when my daughter's going to be most sound asleep,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, I know those hours, like, when they're just little, you know them so well. Wait, are there comments? Can you see things?
I can't see any comments. There are none. There's nobody watching. That's fine. That's fine. They'll watch later.
It's a good
It's it's just going back to what we were talking about earlier. I like talking about the old memories because it does, that nostalgia. And for a lot of people, Christmas is king of nostalgia or queen of nostalgia because of all of the memories. And, there's some people that don't take part in that because they don't have the nostalgia. They don't have the good memories.
Right. Or if they're traumatic memories or negative memories, then it's not something.
And I would challenge you to try, and I am not a mental health professional by any means. But I would say, try to make new memories.
Yeah.
Try to make new things that you like doing during the holidays. Invent things.
Yeah.
This is our new Christmas tradition. We're like, just at some point when the kids were younger, we started going to the movies on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And now we go to the movies on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, new tradition. Right. Yeah, and especially too if like you said, my family, lives far away, and that might be so it's like, I can't do what I used to do. I can do new things. And the other thing I wanted to bring up too that is big this time of year is grief. Right.
Yeah.
So for a lot of people, this will be their first Christmas without a family member. I'm thinking about a really good friend of mine, and her son passed away very tragically, and this will be her first Christmas without her son. And, it might be, first Christmas without a spouse, first Christmas without a parent, or even if it's the second or the 20th or, a year without it. It's, like kind of navigating that and making space for the grief and knowing, who you can talk to about how you're feeling. And I often say making space for all of the emotions. Like, it's okay to feel sadness around this person not being there, while simultaneously feeling good about what is happening and the people you are with. And so oftentimes we get fixated in feeling like I need to feel one way or another. And I think a lot of it being, having like a high level of emotional bandwidth is being able to experience all the seemingly conflicting emotions, because they're actually not conflicting. And the more we can experience, the more full we will feel, even if some of that might be labeled as, quote, negative.
Right.
So I encourage people to, to feel the complexity that comes with the season, especially as it relates to loss or even just change. Or it could be your first Christmas, maybe recently got divorced or separated, and you're so it might be the first one without, they might be still living, but you still don't have your spouse there, or your children might not be there in the morning, or whatever it is, and how to create space for that for yourself as you navigate those changes. Yeah.
I just looked at the calendar and I realized that we're probably going to be taking the next 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
We've got the 24th and the 31st. So neither one of those days that we're going to do it. So we're going to be back on the 7th.
Yes.
Wednesday the 7th. So my Wednesdays are going to be incomplete without positively. I'll go back and watch previous episodes. Or we can watch this one because no one else is. So But before we go,
Yes.
I wanted to quickly just touch on goals for 2026
let's
because
do
the
it.
next
Yeah.
time we do this, we're
Will
going to be
January.
in
Yeah.
2026. So what are some of the goals that you have?
Ooh, that I have.
And I know you probably have a long list of goals that we don't have time to
Time
get
for
to.
all of them.
But
Yeah. Oh, I think for me, it's I think they're always like the same goals, but getting
World
better at them
domination.
maybe. Yeah, yes, that is my goal. So a lot of it is really owning. I mean, like owning the magic, owning what's really happening in my spaces and what I bring to the table, because it's so easy to forget. And I think I was talking to Emily about this last week or whatever. But anyways, when we were going over all her progress from 2025, I got really invigorated and was like, wait, like you like accomplished all of this in a year of like working with me and so forth. And I was like, wow, yeah, this stuff really works. Like, was there even
that's funny.
right? And it's not like, it's like I know it works, and I've been like, you talk about
You're
it
like,
too. Like,
I'm not full of shit.
So I think one of my intentions is to not get so like caught up sometimes in the minutia of things, and to really tell people the true level of transformation that happens in our work together. So that is an intention of mine in 2026, and fully showing up as even more so as that leader. Like this morning, the reason why we started late, I was running a mastermind through Rotary, and when I had first started running this back in April, it was kind of like, well, it's not like a real one because it's not with my clients, right?
All right.
Yeah. So I recognized that I was automatically discounting it, from the start,
Right.
which was making me not quite show up how I would usually show up, and it felt really good this morning. I feel like I fully showed up as I do, with you guys, and that felt really good. So a lot of like permission, like I said, to fully own, to fully show up in that way, and I would say is probably like what my more like higher intention for 2026 is. Yeah.
My higher intention is similar. Mm-hmm. It's to show up as more in a leadership role here at this,
mm-hmm.
For Rockvox, but also to own my gifts,
yeah,
own my strengths. And work on my weaknesses, because I'm traditionally always been kind of like, it's okay, I'm all right.
Mm-hmm.
And to start recognizing the things that I do well and, going after that. And then also the minutia. There's a lot of minutia here,
yeah.
Lots of minutia. and so, one of the things is I really need to kind of tighten down the minutia here to know, like, there's a lot of bits and pieces to all these podcasts and all these shows and transcripts and all that other stuff, and it can get overwhelming
mm-hmm.
at times. And so having the team
yes
be
trained
working efficiently and know what everybody's doing and stuff, means that I really have to up my game as a leader.
Yeah.
And in the past I've had a lot of leadership training and a lot of leadership roles, but over the last 8 years it was primarily just me here doing this stuff on my own. So now working with a team of people is exciting, but it's also kind of daunting because I'm like, all right, now if I don't give them something to do, they're going to sit there and be like, what do you want me to do? So I have to make sure that, everything's defined. And so that's kind of like my 2026, besides world domination. That's
yes. I mean, we're always working on that. I think that's an assumed goal,
Yeah.
especially for us Aquariuses.
Aquarii.
Aquaria.
Is that the? No,
I
that's
don't
not.
know. I have no
Well,
idea.
Well, you have a fantastic holiday,
Scott.
and happy New Year's, and everybody else in Positively Powerful Land. You also have a good one, and we will see you back here, maybe in this studio, maybe in the other studio. Who knows? We don't know where we're going to be. Could be in the hallway, but January 7th. We'll see you then.